Aries, welcome to your astrology reading for the month of February. And so this is going to be applicable for Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Do recommend you watch all three to understand just holistically what's going to happen to you during the month of February. So your rising sign or your ascendant is how other people see you. So that first time that they meet you, how do you come across? And then from a sun sign, this is about how you express yourself. And so what is it that you need in order to feel fulfilled in this lifetime? And then with the moon sign, that's how you process everything internally from that emotional, through that lens, through that kind of perception of everything. And so just to talk a little bit about what's happening in February. So February, we're in Aquarius season. And so there's a lot of Aquarius energy happening. This is all going to impact your house of community. So this is your 11th house, house of community. And so pretty early on in the month, we have Mercury entering Aquarius. And so we already had Pluto enter Aquarius here back on January 20th in the Eastern time zone. And so now Mercury is going to enter Aquarius just after midnight in the Eastern time zone. So if you're Pacific, then it would be the night before. So what this means is Mercury, Pluto, and the Sun are all going to be in the same sign. So they're all in the sign of Aquarius, again, all impacting your house of community. Mercury is actually going to be conjunct Pluto. Obviously, when it moves into this house, it's going to be at 0 degrees. Pluto is sitting at 0 degrees. And so what this is doing is it's a transformational conversation. It's a way of thinking. It's a way of processing information that's different. It's liberating, it's freeing. That Aquarius energy is the rebel of the Zodiac, but it also is kind of that big thinker. So what is it for everybody's benefit? And what is it that maybe needs to go away? Because it is also about liberation. So as the rebel, it doesn't want to hold on to any structure or, just because you said do it this way in the past doesn't mean that you should be doing it this way going forward. And that's what Aquarius is here to do. And so when it comes to your friends, your family, the people that you surround yourself with in your community, if you've had trouble maybe communicating with them or just being on the same page as them, this is all going to change here. Those obstacles and barriers are going to be removed, and it's going to feel very sudden because that's the energy of Pluto and Aquarius. It's this very sudden type of energy. At the same time that Mercury is conjunct Pluto, Mercury is also going to be conjunct Mars. Mars is still sitting in Capricorn. And so Mars is the planet of action. Capricorn is structure. And so there's a connection here between your community and your career because of the houses that they touch. And so with Mercury in Aquarius here, you might be all of a sudden getting innovative ideas when it comes to your work, like really thinking outside the box. If there is a problem at work that you've been trying to solve, it might all of a sudden occur to you, this is how you need to approach it. This is what you need to do in order to fix it or solve it, or maybe even just go in a different direction. So definitely keep that in mind. This is all going to happen at the same time on February 5th. All in the same day, all at the same time. So Mercury is also going to be in a square with Jupiter and Taurus. And so what this means here is that there's actually going to be a connection between your community and what you value. So that second house is your personal finances. So this would be money that you already have. This would be like maybe your investments or something along those lines. But it really is about what you value here. And so the square does kind of provide an obstacle to it, but with Jupiter in the mix, Jupiter makes everything positive. Everything that it touches is positive. And so with Mercury square Jupiter in Taurus, there is this really big emphasis on what is it that you value? What is it that you're trying to grow? What are you trying to do with your stance in the community? Are you trying to grow your stance within the community? Are you trying to, I don't know, let me see, any kind of standing in the community? Are you trying to be perceived differently in the community? Maybe people have had a perception of you and you want to maybe change that perception, change the narrative. This would be that type of energy. Mercury is also going to be in a sextile with Neptune and Pisces. And so now we're talking about the connection between your community and your 12th house, which is your subconscious. And so anything that you want to do here does require you to act. And so if you want to be perceived differently, if you want to take action and solve a problem differently when it comes to your work, or maybe even 10th house is also career and public reputation. So whatever is happening here, it does require you to take action in order to get exactly what you're looking for. That Neptune and Pisces is really about what is it that you want out of this? What are your dreams? What are your goals? And these don't have to be like massive dreams or goals. This could be just, I want to change the way people see me. I want to change my approach to things. It does require you to take action, but it is possible. You just need to do that change internally in order for it to happen externally. Then a couple of days later, we have the new moon in Aquarius. And so now we're going to have the sun, the moon, Mercury, and Pluto all in the sign of Aquarius. And so again, 11th house is highlighted here. So this is your house of community. We're going to have the moon and the sun with a new moon. They're conjunct. They're at the same degree point. And so what's going to happen here is you're going to find it a little bit easier to express yourself, express your emotions, express the changes that you want to see or the direction that you want to go, maybe breaking free from things that have held you back. That's all that Aquarius type of energy. And so you're going to find it a little bit easier to express that right now. The sun and moon are also going to be in a square to Uranus in Taurus. And so the sun and the moon are going to be impacting your 11th house of community. Uranus is sitting in the second house. And so again, going back to what you value. And so with this square, Uranus and Taurus, if there's something here that has been holding you back, if there is something here, that Uranus energy it's very sudden. It's the Tower in tarot. And so this is about anything that needs to break free, anything that just maybe has been holding you back or you need to liberate from, and maybe you're not even aware of it because that's usually Uranus's energy. It's not like, hey, I'm going to give you a heads up that I'm about to remove this from your life. It just does. And so that's what the Uranus energy is going to do. So if there's something around you or there's something that you value or the way that you value something that doesn't align with the person that you want to be, it's going to be removed or it's going to be changed in such a way that it is going to be significant and it is going to be a drastic type of change. And so just kind of looking at my notes here, there may be some obstacles and challenges to this, but it doesn't feel like it's going to be more about how you handle it. So just kind of lean on the fact that you're trying to be and kind of grow into your authentic self. We're always trying to go for that goal. So just kind of lean on that type of energy and it might be a little bit easier to manage. Yeah, any blocks here that make you maybe feel unstable, those are going to be removed. We will have the sun and the moon will be in a trine to the south node in Libra. So again, your sun and your moon, you're sitting in your community. So this is expressing yourself, expressing your emotions in a pretty easy way. South node sitting in Libra is actually in your 7th house of one-to-one relationships. And so the south node energy of Libra in the 7th house indicates that it feels very natural for you to have one-on-one conversations with people. And so when it comes to expressing yourself, when it comes to those small groups or just it's really those one-to-one conversations that you're having, you're gonna have a very easy time expressing yourself, what it is that you want, what it is that you value, what you're trying to achieve here. So there's a lot of really positive energy around all of this. Everything here is going to be very balanced with that Libra energy. We also have the sun and moon will be sextile Chiron and Aries. So we have the sun and moon, again, still in your 11th house in Aquarius. So that community energy. And then we have Chiron that is actually sitting in your sign in Aries. So this is going to affect you personally. So with all of these different transits happening, with all this conversation and all of these obstacles and challenges, all these barriers and blocks that are being removed from your life, it's giving you an opportunity to heal maybe the way that you saw yourself, the value you put on yourself. There's a lot of energy. Maybe it's your physical body, if that's what you've been working on. Chiron is the wounded healer. And so this is impacting you personally, you physically, you spiritually. It's just you as a person. You might even be having like those type of healing conversations with your friends and family as well. So it may not even just be you kind of healing yourself to yourself. It could be any kind of healing conversation. So if you've been estranged from somebody, this would be an opportunity to maybe heal those wounds that have occurred here. You might take some accountability on your part as to, okay, that I shouldn't have done, or that I shouldn't have said, and that's my fault. And so that's the energy here. Then we have Mars entering Aquarius. And so now we're going to have, so the moon's gone because the moon is that fast moving energy. We'll have the Mars, Sun, Pluto, all in the sign of Aquarius. And so again, impacting your 11th house, your community. What happens when Mars enters into the mix? Mars is going to be conjunct Venus, but Venus is going to be in a different sign. Venus is in Capricorn. And so Mars is masculine energy. We have Venus, feminine energy. And so what's happening here is there might be things that from a community standpoint and a career standpoint, the actions you need to take within your career, the answers can be found within your community. And so there's something very receptive about this energy. Venus being the feminine energy, you are going to be open to receiving information around how do you solve something in your career? What actions do you need to take when it comes to your career, maybe your public reputation, maybe it's not specifically your career. But Mars and Venus, it's very interesting because Mars is a separating energy and Venus is a coming together. And so really keep that in mind here because they're trying to figure out what is the right balance to make all of this happen for you. It could be here that you might take this opportunity to stand up for yourself. Maybe if there's some sort of action in your career, or it could be action within the community that impacts your career. Because I actually have notes going both ways just because of the way this energy is playing together because they're conjunct. And so when they're conjunct, they meld together easily. So the energy is really, it's applicable both ways. And so take it as it resonates because it could apply to you in either way or maybe both ways. And so again, that's going to happen on the 13th. At the same time, Mars is also going to be in a square to Jupiter. And so Jupiter's in the sign of Taurus, impacting your house of value, that personal finances, and that connection to your community. So the actions you're taking in your community are going to align with what you're trying to do here in a value standpoint, or you might be running into some sort of obstacles in trying to gain that alignment because it is a square to Jupiter. Jupiter does tend to offset this, but this one doesn't feel like it's going to be as straightforward as maybe it should be. And so this would be a time to kind of break free and open yourself up, take action to align what it is that you're trying to do within your community with what you value. With this all in the same energy, so when, again, Mars is entering Aquarius, so when at this time, Mars is going to be sextile Neptune and Pisces. So again, we've got your community connection, and now we have Neptune and Pisces. So this is your 12th house. And so we've got your community, and we've got your subconscious here. It is going to require action. So if there's something here that you're trying to change, if there's some sort of perception, again, that you're trying to change about yourself, it feels like a lot of maybe change of your standing within the community this month. And so if you're working on that, you're taking action. Oh my gosh, I can't speak. That sextile does require you to take some action in order to achieve the results that you're aiming for. And so just kind of keep that in mind if there's any kind of limitations or if there's any kind of structures that have been in place when it comes to how you see yourself within your community, this would be the time to break those down. This would be the time to take action to change all of that. So we had Mars entering Aquarius on the 13th. Now we have Venus entering Aquarius on the 16th. And so at this time, we're going to have Pluto, Mars, Sun, Venus, and Mercury, 5 planets, all in your house of community. And so here we have Venus, because Venus is just entering into the mix. The Sun is about to leave Aquarius here. And that puts them in a semi-sextile, which means it's really creating friction between those two signs. And so what it is that you value, because that's Venus energy, and then how you express yourself, because that's the Sun, they might be at odds with each other. There might be some friction here. This is not, I wouldn't say that this is like a major obstacle or block, but you're definitely going to feel like you're not able to express yourself in a way that other people are interpreting correctly, or you're not able to maybe say exactly what it is that you're thinking when it comes to that. So it may not be somebody else's perception, it might be the way that you're communicating. And so just kind of keep that in mind here. Venus is also going to be trine the moon in Taurus. And so what this means is, again, Venus is sitting in your house of community. So again, what you value, the relationships that you're building, the things that you love, all of that is Venus energy. And now we've got Moon sitting in the sign of Taurus. And so Taurus is sitting in your second house. It's the things that you value. And so you can already see the kind of synergy that's happening there. Venus is the ruler of Taurus. The moon in Taurus is your emotions and how you would express and maybe process the information internally about what it is that you value. And so I like to see this energy because this is a very liberating, this is, what did I write here? Yeah, Aquarius is liberating you from feeling like you can't have what you want. And so really focus on the type of relationships that you want within your community, the type of standing that you want to have within the community, because you can have it. It is absolutely achievable. It just, again, from some of the other placements, it does require action on your part. We do also have Venus conjunct Pluto in the 11th house. And so during this entire transition, you might notice that not everybody fits into your community anymore. There might be people that you've outgrown, or maybe relationships themselves that just aren't what you want going forward. So there's something about this relationship that just doesn't work for you anymore. And you just feel like you're going in one direction, this other person's going in another direction. And so this might be a time where you might find yourself changing up who's in your tribe, really, is what it's coming down to. We also have Venus square Jupiter in Taurus. So again, your community, we've got Taurus, we've got your second house. And so we've got that trine with the moon. So this is, again, all your emotions. And we have Jupiter in Taurus. There's a lot of success around here as far as how you see yourself, the actions that you're taking, the movement forward within the community, the maybe change in perception that you have of your friends, of your community, and how they see you and how they view you. We do also have Venus sextile Neptune in Pisces. And so this is going to be that connection between your community and your subconscious, that 12th house energy. And so you are going to have to take action here again. This feels like there's a lot of action being taken, because that sextile energy is pretty much saying the same thing that all the Mars energy was saying, where if you want something, it's achievable. You just have to act on it. Make sure that you're focusing on what matters the most to you with that Venus energy, and then act accordingly. On the 18th, we have Sun entering the sign of Pisces. And so when that happens, we're going to have the Sun, Saturn, and Neptune all in Pisces. That's all sitting in your 12th house. Again, all in that subconscious. And so that's a lot sitting in your subconscious. We have the Sun trine the moon in Cancer. So we have the Sun, how you're expressing yourself. So 12th house, when the Sun is sitting in the 12th house, you're not really expressing yourself to other people. It's really about that internal processing of information. This would be like quiet time, that type of energy. Moon is sitting in Cancer in your 4th house. And so you might be spending time at home just really thinking about things, what it is that you want, what it is that you value, what are your next steps, what are you trying to achieve? So there's a lot of internal dialogue happening at this time, and a lot of internal reflection to see, okay, well, what is it that I want and how do I go there? The Sun is going to be conjunct Mercury in Aquarius. And so we've got your subconscious here connected to your house of community. And so some of this reflection might be related to, okay, if I'm trying to change my standing within the community, or I'm trying to change the way the community plays in my life, what does that mean? What is next? How do I go about this? This energy would be the communication, it's the processing of information. And so really kind of focusing here on what it is that you want, because Pisces is about going after your dreams. That's what that energy is about. We do have the Sun conjunct Saturn. Now they're both sitting in your house of your 12th house, your subconscious. And so with the Sun and Saturn sitting in the same house, so Sun, we already know that all of your expression is really internal at this point, but so is the work that you're doing. So this does indicate that you're working on yourself, you're trying to better yourself, put yourself in a better maybe head space, heart space, all of it. And I love to see this because that's a really, really strong energy coming through. We also have the Sun semi-sextile Pluto in Aquarius. Again, they're 30 degrees apart. And so what's happening here is more connection between your subconscious and the community around you. And so any kind of friction that you might be feeling about, what it is that you're trying to do. So those goals you're trying to achieve, the plans that you've set into motion, do they need to be changed? Because you're really kind of contemplating what your next steps are. How do you want to approach everything? That's that 12th house energy. And with Pluto in Aquarius, it's like, okay, well, that's what you want. Great. Let's just take everything and just liberate you from it. If it's not working, no reason to hold on to it. Towards the end of the month, we have Mercury entering Pisces. And so we had the Sun enter Pisces, now we have Mercury entering Pisces, and that's going to happen on the 23rd. And so with the Mercury, Sun, Saturn, Neptune are all in the sign of Pisces. So this is all in your subconscious. And so we'll have Mercury conjunct the Sun. So this would be that internal expression of your dreams, processing what it is that you truly want. We'll have Mercury opposite the moon in the sign of Leo. And so we have your subconscious, and now we have the moon in Leo. The moon in Leo is actually sitting in your 5th house. So this is your creative expression. This is really your authentic self. And so it's about trying to understand, okay, there's kind of this push-pull happening between what it is that you want to accomplish and how and like maybe what you're passionate about, or maybe just how you want to express yourself creatively. There might be some sort of, I don't want to say friction, but it is kind of like a push-pull. Like, how do I figure this out? Because that's what that opposition is telling me. We also have Mercury conjunct Saturn. So again, in your subconscious. So any kind of communication or processing what it is that you're doing to try and achieve your goals. So this is all happening internally. 12th house, again, subconscious. You're not even going to really be conscious of this. This is all just, you might see it in your dreams. You might see it in, or feel it in different ways, because subconscious has a way of manifesting itself in the physical realm. And that could be through anything, your moods, ailments, anything, dreams, all of it. So kind of, so Mercury conjunct Saturn, so you're going to work on your dreams, and this is all happening internally. But Mercury is also going to be semi-sextile Pluto and Aquarius. And again, so when it comes to what it is that you want, what it is that you're trying to achieve, what are those dreams, the universe hears you loud and clear and is going to remove any of those barriers that are holding you back. That's that Pluto and Aquarius energy. And so be mindful of just kind of your approach to things. You may not be mindful of this because this is all sitting in your subconscious, but it is about your mental state going into all of this. And then towards the end of the month again, so on the 24th, we have the full moon in Virgo. And so Virgo is actually sitting in your 6th house. This is your house of daily routines. And then it's opposite Pisces, which is your 12th house. And this is your subconscious. And so again, it's that push-pull between what it is that you're feeling and what it is that you're thinking versus what you're doing in your daily life. And so there's some sort of, something here needs to change. Something here needs to be shaken loose. And this full moon in Virgo is about releasing anything connected to your daily routines that doesn't align with all the work that you've been doing on yourself, all the changes that you've been making to yourself. Something here is not in alignment and just needs to be removed. We'll also have the moon opposite Mercury in the sign of Pisces. So again, that 6th house, 12th house energy. And so really kind of thinking here about what it is that you want from a dream standpoint, processing the information. And so this is about, you know, taking your emotions, expressing them, figuring out what it is in your daily life that needs to change in order to achieve those goals, in order to achieve those dreams that you seek. We'll have the moon trine Jupiter in Taurus. So we're going to have that 6th house energy, and then we're going to have the 2nd house energy again. So that 2nd house, what you value, your personal finances. And so your 6th house, 2nd house, what is it about your daily routines that maybe doesn't align with anything here? Or is there something here? Because it feels more like with this trine energy, you're trying to grow something within that 2nd house. Maybe you're modifying something and you're making room for something better in that area of your life, better in your daily routines. And so kind of making room, making space for something else that you value. We also have the moon opposite Saturn in Pisces. So again, Saturn in Pisces, 12th house, 6th house. And so really it's about removing any obstacles that are holding you back from achieving your dreams or going after exactly what it is that you want. And so there is a lot of energy. It starts off with some community energy. So you're standing, the way you express yourself, the way you see yourself, the way you want to be seen by other people. There are some connections here to your career, and so career and public reputation. So again, maybe that's spilling into your career. Maybe there's more connection there between the community that you live in or that you surround yourself with and your career. And then it moves into focusing more on the subconscious and the dreams. Okay, so I've set these goals for myself. Now it's about achieving them. What changes need to happen internally in order to make those happen? What changes need to occur in your daily life in order to make those happen? And so Aries, that is the reading for you for the month of February. Thank you for watching this all the way into the end. If you like this content, let me know below, and please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.